about here. So I'm back from the tournament, and I'm only going to go through game one quite quickly because I already did this on a previous stream. Round one was against a little kid. I should say a little white kid. I mentioned white because 95% of kids kids in the tournaments here are Chinese. This kid is actually from the US, and his dad is like 2100 something, and this was his first or second tournament, I think, first or second tournament in Canada. So as usual, paired up against an underrated kid. Hello, Dr. Taboo. So he was rated 881, but of course he plays, that's like 1900 or 2000 online. By the way, Jason, and I carpooled with Jason, he drove. He told me that he was talking to somebody rated 1000 at the tournament, and they told him, I actually think there's a difference between over the board rating and online rating, because my online rating is actually higher. It's like, yeah, there's actually a big difference. So my guess is that 1000 rated player was probably like 1500 online or something, and was expecting to be like 1500 at the tournament. But no, it doesn't work like that. You're lucky if you will be like 700. Okay, anyways, so I got white. This was first round. Okay, I was actually feeling quite nervous. I was only mostly nervous in the first round. That generally happens. Sometimes I get nervous in the later rounds too, but first round, for some reason, I get quite nervous. So I played e4. He played e5. Again, I'm just going through this game quite quickly because I already did it before. I already kind of forgot what happened in this game. Actually, let me turn record off. So I played Bishop D2. I think I ran this. By the way, Stockfish 11 is out. Oh, that's another reason why I have to wait before I update, before I run CPT. Yeah, I ran this before at the hotel, and computer actually likes knight c3 a fair bit over bishop d2. I guess that kind of makes sense because we could just play a3. Man, over the board, my vision is actually different because looking at the game now, things just seem so much more obvious and clear. I don't know if that's because of the 3D versus 2D thing or because, I don't know. But like knight c3 here does seem perfectly reasonable because that bishop is going to be kind of oddly placed after knight c3. Okay, anyways, I played bishop d2. And my opponent played a5, which really baffled me. I was not expecting that. A very weird move. I don't think it was a good move, but I still had to be careful because it was so weird. But I just played a3, which computer actually does not really care for. Again, it's recommending knight c3, which also, again, makes sense. I don't know why. I was not picturing... I was not imagining trapping the bishop. I was also... Okay, never mind. I won't bother on every little detail. Oh yeah, so here I thought for quite a long time. Also in this tournament, it's the first time I started recording the move times on my score sheet. I'd never done that before, and I forget what round I started that in. I could check later. I only have rounds 4 and 5 in front of me. I think I might have started it around the third round. No, or is it? Let me think. Yeah, it's hard to say when I started it. Maybe round 3, possibly round 2. And currently that, I find it very rewarding to do that. I think it actually helps you it helps you have a good overview of the game, even while you're playing it. Oh, I don't care about new viewers. Yeah, I know. No, I don't care about new viewers on this. Yeah, and it also doesn't say on lichess.org, so it's not even going to show up on Lichess. Yeah, I don't care about that. It's not like I get many viewers anyways. Anyways, I played bishop d3. Or sorry, I mean bishop d5. This actually creates, it gives black a lot of opportunities to make mistakes. Unfortunately, I was really well, actually, in the first round I wasn't too tired. Rounds 2 and 3 I was insanely tired and I played terribly. But for some reason I just had a lapse in concentration here, and I was thinking, you know, on this move here I was thinking, you know, can we check and then win a pawn here with a discovery on the bishop? But it doesn't work because the g5 square isn't protected. So I was trying to find ways to deflect the queen. And so this was an idea of taking here and then, I mean, sorry, not taking there, but my idea was to go here, and then for some reason I thought if he went to queen d7, or any move, if he moved the queen at all, I thought then I could continue on here. But obviously the queen is protecting f7, and he can just take with the queen, so that doesn't work. And yes, I did overlook that. But this was still a reasonable move. We are creating some issues here for black. And I thought for a very long time here as well. Computer actually prefers rook c1. Rook c1 which the computer says is a mistake. Apparently, because of this is not so bad for black, apparently. Yeah, so instead of rook c1, it wants to keep the bishop. It doesn't want to give that bishop up. I just I didn't consider keeping the bishop. I totally should have, but I didn't. I just wanted to get pressure. I mean, I was enjoying my pressure on the c6 square and a centralized bishop and opportunity. We're holding the e4 and maybe something to do with f7 in the future. I didn't play too sharp the first few games. But computer, I mean, yeah, computer says white is still preferable here. Oh yeah, and this is funny. Computer hates taking this pawn. It wants rook f1, which I strongly considered, and I changed my mind for some reason. But it doesn't like this. Apparently, I think part of the reason it doesn't like it, or the only reason, is I didn't consider that black doesn't have to recapture. He can just castle. And then I guess he's... What is the threat here? I don't quite... I guess this pawn is hard to defend. So it's kind of interesting. I didn't consider that he doesn't just recapture. That he can't. That he doesn't have to just recapture. Anyways, he did recapture. And yeah, this was just a blunder on his part because it allows me to play rook c1, which is extremely strong, or I should just say completely winning, because I'm now threatening to either take the knight or win the rook, and black can't stop that. It's impossible. Whoops. And then he didn't see this threat, so he moved the knight out. He probably only saw this threat, and then when I went there, he went, oh, you know. Okay, so I kind of rushed through that game. So round 2. So this was the second day. So round 2, which I haven't covered yet. I only got 3 hours sleep, and I was also feeling pretty rotten. I was extremely cold, even though I was wearing 3 layers of clothing. I was like absolutely freezing, and I had no sleep, and I was just not feeling good at all. I ended up getting 3 blacks this tournament, which I am totally overdue for, so that's okay. So I was paired up against another underrated player. I say underrated because he's only played, like, I don't know. I think just a few tournaments. So this guy is rated 1162, and he's an adult, around my age, maybe a couple years older. Yeah, maybe like 5 years older or something. Hang on, let's throw it. I should have got water instead. Yeah, okay, anyway, so this is how the game went. Now, one drawback to going over the games, since this game was yesterday, I kind of forget the interesting stories that happened to people around me and not directly in my game, so anyways, he played bishop c4. Obviously, I was hoping that he would play the open Sicilian, or something that I know a little bit deeper. Of course, I've seen bishop c4 many times online, but it's one of those openings that it's not as dangerous as as the open Sicilian. So white doesn't have to play theory for him to be okay. The downside for white is that it's also not as, it basically, black equalizes kind of out of the gate, or close out of the gate here. I spent a little while on knight f6 because just 3D mode and the anxiety of playing, sometimes I just forget basic things, and I was kind of contemplating the idea of knight c6 here, but no, knight f6 is better. Played knight c3 here, and I thought for a little while, and I played a move which is totally fine, but when I came back to my hotel room, I looked at my repertoire, and I forgot what I have in my repertoire, which is a beautiful move, and it's too bad I forgot it, but I'm pretty sure I won't forget this in the future, and that's one perk to playing over the board tournament chess. When you make a mistake, especially out of the opening, you're likely not going to make that same mistake again. It's possible, but very unlikely, especially out of the opening. And so I played knight c6 here, which is okay. But actually, my repertoire move is e6, and the reason is because this can actually easily, and most likely will, transpose into a certain variation of the Sicilian Najdorf Sozin line. So most likely white will play d4 here, or he might castle, but it could still transpose. But after d4 and takes, if we play a6 here, we've now transposed into the Sozin. So it's too bad I forgot about that, but I don't think I'll ever forget that again now. So that's a perk of playing over the board. Anyways, I played knight c6, played h3, and a6. His move is, and I analyzed the game after with my opponent for quite a while, so I know his reasoning behind all of his moves, or his rationale. Yeah, I thought for a long time here, because obviously before I played b5, the concern is d5. But but b5 is good, and because if d5, I was going to play knight e5, and if takes, then he's got 2 pieces hanging, so he can't take on d4, and then my knight just gets to sit there, and he has to move his bishop, and I can take here if I wanted to, and I could I could play here or something. So anyways, that's why I played b5, and he played e5, which is computer doesn't like it. And I when he played e5, I was not expecting that. I did not plan for that. It was not on my radar. But I guess for good reason, because it's not a good move. Yeah, computer just wants him not even to castle. Oh, sorry, his bishop's under attack. Yeah, sorry. b5. It is saying actually d5 is the best move, or bishop d5. Whoops. So yeah, white is, as I said before, computer says that black has fully equalized here, if not better. Yeah, so computer, black is a lot better here. It's minus 1.2 for black. Now, a problem I had in this game was these double pawns really, really were annoying to babysit, especially these two. Yeah, it was very annoying to babysit these pawns, as you'll see. Now, this is an interesting move. Computer does not like bishop d6, and I'm not 100% sure why. Never mind. It doesn't hate it that much, but it is preferring bishop e6 first. I really don't know why. So if we go bishop d6, it's saying this, and then if we go here, knight c3. Yeah, I'm not. What is he going to take on here? Oh, that's why. So I think we're going to lose a tempo by doing that, because the knight can reroute here and attack both. I think that's why. So yeah, just bishop e6 or bishop e7. Yeah, that's why. So it's not so clear for me, anyways. I mean, that's a reasonable inaccuracy to play over the board. Okay. But he played c3. When I talked to him after the game, he wasn't happy with his c3 move. Hello, my name is Legion. He wasn't happy with it, but I thought it was a perfectly fine move. It does stop these squares from my knight. I think it was a good move, pretty much, but he doesn't really like it. Computer doesn't really like it either. He was kind of concerned about my knight being able to come here, but that's not going to happen. And even if it does, well, it's not going to. Actually, that's not true. Computer is saying play 95. And if you take here, we're just fixing our broken pawns. But we're worsening the bishop here too. So I don't know. Yeah, so computer likes 95 there. A wasted opportunity because I didn't play 95. The reason I didn't play 95 is because I wanted to keep the knight around to protect c4, a c4 pawn, because this is the only piece that can defend it if he attacks it twice, you know? So I didn't want to be bringing my knight out. For example, like this, I was scared of him playing f4 or f4. It is my move. It's saying f5. What about this? And knight d3. Wait, what? I don't get it. And can't he take? Yeah, so I don't really understand. Oh, sorry. Bishop takes f4? Oh, okay. Yeah. Yeah, it's... Oh, it's weird. That's weird. Okay. So computer likes it trading this pawn for this pawn. I don't know. That's kind of deep. Okay. But yeah, that's the computer's idea. Yeah. Okay. And it actually prefers queenside castling. But yeah, that looks too dangerous for me. And I want to activate the h8 rook. So, okay, this is the best move. I mean, only move that defends the pawn. And around here, I wasn't really feeling good. These pawns were so restricting, and I couldn't bring this knight over. I couldn't find a way to bring the knight over to e5, e4, because this bishop needs to protect the pawn, and the only way to get through there, well, not quite here, but later this pawn is attacked. So, but around this, around this position, I was really having trouble on finding a way to move forward, to break through. I made little improvements like moving my king here, which computer likes. And he's also trying to reposition its pieces. I'm going to try to double up my rooks. This move, and he kind of thought it was funny when I told him my reasoning behind this move. By the way, is anyone watching? I just want to make sure I'm not talking to myself. Maybe I am talking to myself, but I can upload it to YouTube. Okay. So here I was out of ideas, and I didn't want to burn too much time thinking of more ideas. So I went here partly just to throw things back to white and see if he had any ideas and make him maybe worsen his position. But I also went here to kind of give white something to think about. Maybe I'll play here, which I wasn't really going to, but I moved here just to give him something to think about. It was kind of to buy time, and it was actually somewhat useful because he was thinking about having to think about this. So I kind of bought a little bit of time with this little move. And bishop c8 is needed because the threat from white is for him to double up the rooks. Then he later on can get a discovery on the bishop. Excuse me, like he could just take a pawn, for example, and win at least a pawn. So got that bishop out of there. Also was going to redirect it to a useful diagonal, which is what I did here. And then he blundered knight h2. And when he did that, I was quite happy, obviously, because I was running out of ideas here. Just a reminder that I was very tired when I played this game and wasn't feeling very good. So I actually just wanted the game. I was not feeling well, not too well when I played this game. Anyways, he loses to this little tactic here, or well, his position loses to this little tactic. So I got two minor pieces for the rook, and I'm feeling very happy. And I took the bishop, I took the knight with my bishop, which the computer does not say is the best move, and I wasn't sure about it either. It's an okay move. I wasn't sure about it, but I was tired, and I didn't want to burn too much time on it. So it's the second best move, but computer prefers just taking the pawn. And by the way, it's -5 right now in evaluation. I was a little surprised he took with the rook. I told him after the game I thought this might be slightly better because he gets to keep the rooks on the file, and he can possibly create some threats like this. He agreed, and he's not quite sure why he took with the rook. And computer now says it's pretty equal either way. So I knew he was going to play rook d1 because, there's some issues here with like check and so on, and if you can get two rooks here. I saw that, and I thought worst case scenario. He gets the two rooks here and gets the bishop for nothing. But by that time, I've kind of gobbled up his pawns, and I'm pushing this pawn. And I have a rook and knight and 3 passed pawns versus 2 rooks. And by the time he tries to create any real threats against my king, these pieces will be pretty far advanced. So that was my line of thinking here. So I took the pawn. And this is what he played, unsurprisingly. And then here, I forget how much time was left. I don't know if I don't think I was recording the time at this point. So but I remember thinking here for a while. I forget how long, maybe 7 minutes or 5 minutes or something. So I was thinking of possibly coming in, but I changed my mind, and I went to king g8, which is not the best move, but still very much winning for black. And black is still completely winning here, but I played rook c2, which the computer doesn't like. It's preferring to give a check first or knight b3, which I'm a little surprised about. Yeah, so computer doesn't like rook c2, which I'm not 100% sure of. And I took another pawn, and he went after my bishop. I gave him a check, and this was purely to get some more time on the clock. So I must have been pretty low, actually. I'm not sure how low I was. Oh, was this the game where I had no time? It was. Yeah, so I was really low on time, so I had about 3 minutes on the clock, I think. No, wait. No, that wasn't this game. That wasn't this game. But I must have been low on the clock. I must have had. Oh, I think I had 7 minutes. I think I had 7 minutes here, and he had about 15. But because I remember I went here purely to get 30 seconds more times to think, and then I played c3. But there's 3 much better moves. They're a little bit tricky. One is rook f1. Sorry, I guess there's only 2 moves. Rook f1 and king g7. And the reason why king g7 is the other good move is only because it allows us to still play rook f1. And the idea here is if we play rook f1, we're going to sacrifice the rook with the pawn. Now, I'll show you what I mean. So it's saying that like, what was it? Because if he gives a check, yeah. So now we can afford to hide here, because if he goes somewhere like this, we're actually going to take here now. And now we can actually survive this threat and queen. If I did that without, well, we can see what happens. Whoops. Wow, no. Let me show you. I gotta way back here. There's a lot of moves this game. Where was I? Oh yeah, c3. So because I didn't play rook f1, well, I can show you what happened. He took, obviously, king g7, and now white can force a draw or a mate, because sorry, where did he, what's the last move here? King here. Yeah, so why is it recommending that better? Rook f8. How come not just here? Well, I still could have came here. Oh, okay, still rook f1, right? Yeah. So, but let's say I pushed or something instead. Yeah, like king h8. There's going to be a mate. If I push here, this pawn is still blocking me, so it's still going to be mated. So rook f1 was necessary if I don't want to draw. But yeah, at this point, oh, it's too bad. I could have escaped there. But I went back and forth because I was not sure if I could go there or not. Damn. Wow, I was so close to 5 out of 5 actually this tournament. So close. Yeah, because I could have gone there, but I didn't have time to calculate it out. And I knew that this was a draw. So I went the safer route. But this would have been a win. And I think it's pretty straightforward for black to play. Like, let's just say, what if I push there? No, see, I gotta be careful. If I go there, white wins. So no. It's a good thing I didn't go there, I think. Because no, but that's what I'm saying, Draconic Fate. I'm just saying each game I was like, each game was, the games that I drew were very, like, I was winning them. So it would have been, ooh. I didn't get crushed in any of the games. Okay. What was I knocked something over. Don't know what it was. Okay, what was I doing? Oh yeah, so if I had gone here, I still might have lost though, because I would have had to have found this move, and I'm not sure I would have been able to find that in time. Because if I like pushed the, sorry, his move. If I had pushed the pawn or something, I'm losing. The only move after I go king h6, the only move for black is to play rook f1, and I'm not sure if I would have seen that. Okay, so anyways, this turned out to be a draw because it was a perpet. So I felt bad about that. I felt bad because I was winning. You know, I'm obviously winning here. However, I think it kind of works out equal because that my blunder was allowing well, pushing this pawn. C3 was my blunder, allowing him to take the bishop here and not put the rook on f1. Although, yeah, so I basically missing f1 was my blunder, but I think that's a hard move. Well, not hard, but it's an easy move to not find when you're under time pressure. And that was my mistake, and my opponent made a mistake as well. So we each made a mistake. His mistake was this terrible knight h2 move, allowing me to get 2 minor pieces for the rook. So we kind of broke out even there. Anyways, that was game 2. And then what did I do for food? I think the first night I went to an unbelievably loud pub, and I already have major hearing and ear issues right now. I was worried it was going to permanently worsen my tinnitus, and my ears actually hurt. It was karaoke night, and I can't tell you how loud it was. I don't know. It might be extra loud because my ears are really sensitive, but oh my God, it was terrible there. And I took food up to go to my hotel room, and I really regret it because I tipped 15%, even though and I also forgot the 10% discount for hotel guests, and that sucked because why bother pick it up? Like I could have just gotten room service and then just tipped the delivery person 15%. Why did I tip 15%? Yeah. Anyways. Yeah, no, but that was at nighttime. What did I do for lunch? I know. No. Oh, yeah, sorry. That was after round 1. So for lunch, I just went back to my hotel room and I ate some of the leftovers from it. Because I had some leftovers from the night. So that's what I did for lunch. Okay. And then round 3, which was yesterday, I was still feeling rotten because of no sleep. In fact, I was even more tired. I was really, really tired, and I was just really not feeling well. Anyways, I was paired up against Tyler, who I've seen around many tournaments, but have never played. I spoke to him after the game a few times. Nice guy. He's definitely underrated on his way up. And we talked about the game and we analyzed the game. So I also know his thoughts about this game. This one is kind of a opposite Cinderella story. Okay, let me get through it. Hello, Case Money. Okay, we got almost everybody here. I'm kind of tired now. That's why I'm extra wish-washy than usual. Okay. Wait. Why? I'm trying to remember who was white or black here. Because I wrote it that I'm black, but it's showing white. So I must have been white. And I wrote it wrong. Okay, well, we'll find out. So it was another Roy. Oh, so it obviously I'm white. So I did write it wrong. Let me fix that. There we go. I was white. Wait. Is that true? If so, then I did get 3 whites this tournament. Wait, why is it showing it from Black's point of view now? I'm very confused. Oh, it went through the same game again. Oh, it went to round 1. Ah. Oh, I know why it did that. Okay. I was wondering. I thought it was black. There we go. Never mind. I was black. Okay, yeah. So it was a delayed Alapin, which I encounter a fair bit online. So I kind of knew what to do. I don't know it super well, but I knew the basics. If I didn't study opening so much, I would have been thinking here for a very, very long time. But fortunately, my opening knowledge makes me know this. My lips got really chapped, and I couldn't find any chapstick at the dollar store there. So, anyways, knight f6 is my repertoire. And bishop e2 looks like a blunder and looks like a weird move to begin with. But thanks to my opening knowledge, I know that this is actually main line delayed Alapin. The point being, obviously, you can't take the pawn because you're going to lose the knight. But even more interesting is there's a lot of traps here later on as well. And also, fortunately, I knew theory here. So moves like e6, e5, knight c6 might all look tempting. Even knight bd7 might look tempting. Well, probably not here, but a lot of moves here look tempting. But actually, the main line and the computer's favorite line is g6, which is what I played. And I'm getting a headache now. And normally I would never play g6. Oh, I got a headache. Normally I would never play g6, but the position really dictates it as being the best move. But I hate castled fianchettos with a passion. I just hate it. This is one of the very few times I will do it. And I hated this position the whole game. I hate castled fianchettos. So he castled. And I actually, I stopped knowing or stopped remembering theory here. I don't know this very deep. But obviously, if you prepare a fianchetto, you got to finish it up. So bishop g7 is main line. And then he deviated from main line before me, so I guess that's okay. Main line is actually, well, there's 2 main lines here. There's apparently bishop b5 check. And then black can respond a couple of different ways with knight bd7 or bishop d7. That's actually a main line here. And then second main line is rook e1. But my opponent played d3, which seems it's actually third main line, and it's perfectly reasonable. Castled h3. I thought this was a little slow, but computer says it's actually second main line here. Knight bd7. Computer is and theory is suggesting knight c6. Instead, I guess maybe we want a little bit more control over the d4 square and this bishop. Not that I need control of this diagonal, but it's not really a need for knight bd7 in this case, I guess. But I was liking the idea of maybe doing a half fianchetto on the queen side. And I thought the bishop would be more useful here than where it is right now. Anyways, this is not a mistake. It's an okay move. He played knight a3, which I thought was a weird ass move, but he still stands behind it. He likes his move, and I was really trying to understand what he was doing here, because rerouting the knight here, it's okay, but it's not like a Ruy Lopez where you can put it on G3, which is a lot nicer than here. And once his knight is here, it's not like he can go he can't really do anything useful with it. And then I was thinking, okay, maybe he just wants the B file. So rook B1 and then B4. So for a while, I was really thinking of A5 to prevent that, but I didn't like that. So I ended up playing A6. He told me after the game that he played this because I'm forgetting now. Forgetting exactly. I think it was partly to help control the C4 square, but I think it was also he was wanting to like put the rook here, bishop here, and a knight here type of a setup. So it's not like a bad move, but not the best move. Anyways, I played A6, preparing B5. He played bishop E3, which when he played this, I'm like, oh, that's kind of a good move. And it concerned me a little bit because of the D4 square. I thought, okay, he's got 4 pieces on it now, and I thought he might want to push the D4, but then he's hanging E4, so I realized that it actually wasn't a problem. So I played B5, and then I got a little bit angry at myself because he played Queen D2, and even though black is okay here, I got angry at myself because I didn't consider that Queen D2 was a possibility and that bishop E3 was totally telegraphing Queen D2. So I got a little bit angry at myself for that, just for not considering it as being a move. But it actually, there's no threat here. I spent a long time making sure there's nothing. Obviously, if he goes here and I take, then it's game over. I think it's a forced mate, actually. So, for example, if he goes here and I take, I'm pretty sure that's... Oh, it's not a forced mate. Oh, yeah, sorry. The knight is protecting it still. I was thinking of a different game, I think. I don't know what I'm thinking. But it's not good to do that, obviously. I played Queen C7, which computer is quite happy with. And it's a nice move. It looks like, I mean, the danger is that we're going to be on this file with a rook that can come over, but it does 2 things. It connects our rooks, but more importantly, it x-rays E5. And yeah, he says that this was a good move too, and he really regrets not seeing my idea behind Queen C7, which is to like push D5, because we are now protecting the E5 square by proxy. So he played rook AC1, which is the best move, just lining things up with my queen. And I played D5, which the computer doesn't like because of some complexities. Actually, I lied. No, I don't know. I don't know why it's not in the top 5 here, but then on the following screen, the evaluation is still good. Oh, it's changed a little bit. Yeah, so it's not the worst move, but I thought it was a little bit better than it was. Okay, no, it was fine. So he takes here, which is the best move, and then he takes. So he did this correctly. I spent a while deciding between knight takes and bishop takes. Apparently knight takes is better, but no, never mind. They're equal. I didn't spend too long on this, but the reason I took it with the bishop is because I have the ability to go back to C6, whereas if I take with the knight and then he pushes, I just have to go back. So I made the best move here. Sorry, I took the pawn, and then he made the best move, C4, and I spent a very long time on this move. I don't have the score sheet in front of me. I don't know how long I spent here. 10 minutes, 12 minutes, 13 minutes, something like that. And so there were 3 moves that I could have played, I believe, if I remember correctly. which were taking, I think these are the three moves. Computer actually says they're all equal. I played b4. It creates the opportunity for white to create a lot of imbalances. If he takes, I take, and we're going to be equal in material, and I've got this really weak file with an isolated pawn, but white has double isolated pawns. So he moved the knight back, and I played bishop b7, d4, a5, d5, and yeah, knight e4. So this was my plan, to blockade it. And a4, knight ce1, a3, okay, e1, another knight h2. We had that in the other game, and e6. So around this point here, I was so tired, I wasn't feeling well, and if he had offered me a draw, I was going to take it. And I was actually very close to offering him a draw, but I didn't because I'm higher rated, and it might show a lot of weakness. And just in general, I'm always hesitant to offer draws if the position isn't super drawish, because it shows that I'm a little scared, right? So it shows that I'm not in a real fighting mood. So I'm very hesitant to do it. So I didn't offer a draw. And I was mostly too tired. I mean, there's definitely still a lot of play here. Anyways, knight h2, and then I played e6, which my idea was to double up the rooks, and our pieces are pretty well coordinated. The thing is, I could never touch these knights. They have jobs to do. This one is blockading the pawn, and this knight is protecting this pawn. If I move this knight somewhere, he can just go. Sorry, he can just go here, and he's attacking it twice. Anyways, I played e6, and I offered a draw on this move, and he thought about it for, I don't know, a minute and a half, and then he accepted the draw. So this was a draw. Now the unfortunate thing is, computer says that this is much better for black, about -2. So and it likes my exact plan. So if white goes like here, actually my plan was to double up. Yeah, but it likes black here. I mean, and there is another thing to consider, I think. Oh no, I think I have the times recorded on this game. I was behind on the clock, but there was still a lot of time left. I think I had 45 minutes left. Really, when it boils down to it, I was not feeling well. I was tired. I didn't really feel like playing. I wasn't having fun playing. Maybe this is what Draconic Fae feels like when he plays. I don't know. But I just didn't want to play anymore. I wasn't. Yeah. So anyways, it was a draw. So that's very unfortunate because he was rated 1230. Is that really what you feel like? So if so, that kind of sucks. It's not really fun. Okay, so I've got rounds 4 and 5 here. So what did I do that night? Oh, I went to Denny's and had a very, very healthy dinner and an unhealthy dessert, and I overate a lot. I ordered a shitload of food, and I took extra food to take home to the hotel. I ate a lot of food. Yeah, and then I managed to sleep a lot better that night, of about 7 hours. And I woke up with just enough time to like shower and pack up and check out and check my bags and start round 4. Who's ready for round 4? Oh, and then there was a guy from. Okay, so in round 4, there was a news station came in with a cameraman and did the coverage of the event, of the chess tournament. There was a no smokers support group, or stop smoking support group across the hall, which was very uneventful. And then one of the players in the tournament from the US, from Washington, generously donated about $500 of his own cash towards the prize pool. And I think I'm guessing he works at Microsoft. First of all, because he donated like $500, and secondly, because he was wearing a Microsoft jacket. So that's kind of cool. I think like half the chess players are very poor, and half of them actually have a lot of money. There's at least one doctor. There's like a doctor that plays in the tournament as well. A guy knocked over one of the pitchers of water. I can't remember all of the little interesting things that happened in the event. Nothing too interesting. Okay. Let's go with round. Hang on, I gotta put the record button on here. Okay, so this is round 5, this is round 4. Okay, here we go. Add a new chapter. So I was paired with a little kid who's like a little cute kid, a little Chinese kid who's like 8 years old or 7. And I played him a couple tournaments ago. And I was the same color as what I was playing this one. So I actually did some prep for him because I knew the exact opening that he played against me last time. I played him before and I won, but it was a very close game. But this kid is super young. He's going to be a really strong player when he's older if he keeps playing, because he was basically born into chess, and his older sister plays chess. He probably started playing when he was about 3 years old. His parents take him to a lot of tournaments. He's going to be strong, I'm telling you. And he's obviously very underrated, as most people are. Okay, let's see. So I was white. And I'm just going to look up his rating so I can put it up in here. Okay, so his rating, whoa. His rating is 1209, but last time I played him, he was like 1,000 or 900. So it shows you how fast he's improving. Okay. Okay. So I played e4. And I prepared. I know what he plays. He plays the Sicilian Scheveningen. So I was ready for his c5. And he plays e6 instead. So I actually was not devastated because I didn't spend too long preparing for him because I was tired. Also, I'm actually pretty good against e6. And also, I think little kids tend to change their openings fairly frequently because they're learning different things. But yeah, I mean, in general, I'm not really concerned when I'm white because my opening repertoire is pretty solid, especially. Yeah. Okay. So. And then I looked, when I played my next move, I kind of looked at him to see his reaction or expression, because not many people play knight d2, which is what I play. And it pisses a lot of people off because they don't know what to do against it. And yeah, this kid isn't really that expressive actually. One of the few kids that, well, no, some kids aren't expressive. But I could tell he didn't know what to do. No, that's not true because he actually played theory for a while. Anyways, he did the exchange Tarrasch, which is not so common, but not uncommon either. I don't know this very well. That's true. Yeah, I know. I took back what I said because some kids are very inexpressive. Anyways, the exchange French, yeah, I don't know this too well, but the positions are pretty basic here, so it's not like you really have to think that hard. So I went knight b3. No, I took the pawn. Oh, and yeah, I was recording my times here. Since I'm new to recording the clock on the score sheet, I never start by move 1, but I've been getting better, and here I started on move 4. On game 5, I started on move 3. Maybe one day I'll start by move 1, but it's always going to be 90. Anyways. He played bishop d7, which is second main line. And I played knight f3. And he played bishop c6, which I was kind of expecting. It's kind of weird moving the bishop twice. Yes, it chipped, it has. And fortunately, I kind of remembered this. Now, when I say that I've remembered this opening, because it's not that common of an opening, but when I say I remember this opening, I remembered the name. When he played it, I'm like, oh, this is the Fort Knox opening of the Tarrasch variation of the French defense. I knew that. I know I know that this is the Fort Knox, but I don't really know theory here. I just knew the name. But I had like a couple of ideas from playing it before. So I wasn't totally new to it, but I don't really know it very well. But yeah, it's a Fort Knox variation. Because the, well, you'll see why. So I played main line, bishop d3, and he took, which is not main line, but he had it's second main line, and he had an interesting reason for it, which I'll show you in a second. But main line is actually knight d7, which is another weird looking move. And I don't know theory after that. I'm guessing you would castle kingside, although there's actually totally options here to castle queenside. I should mention that this game was kind of a nice game in the sense that it's a very, very classical game. The moves were all very, very classical, and the positions were extremely classical. Um, so I actually think this would be a really good game to learn from with Alessandro, because I got in a good position, but then I had trouble figuring out how to improve it, even though the position was actually very simple. Actually, sometimes those are the hardest to find moves for. Anyways, yeah, he took, which is not main line, but second main line. Obviously, I have to take back. Oh, no, yeah, he still knows. Well, the move after this is what I'm talking about. So, yeah, he played c6, preventing this. It's the main line by far. I don't think there's really any other options. There's queen c8. But, I mean, queen c8, white just has 2 pieces developed for free and is going to castle. But, okay, c6 was played. This is main line Fort Knox variation. And I castled, which is still main line. But I stopped knowing main line after... well, this is... Well, no, still here. But this is all easy to guess moves. I basically did not know what actual main line was here, but I knew, you know, castling is obvious. Played knight f6, which is main line. And I think that's the idea behind this bishop takes, because now this bishop has to go back, and it's supposed to be a little bit awkward for white, but I'm pretty happy, and computer is pretty happy with white. But this is the Fort Knox line. He played bishop e7. Still theory. I thought for quite a while here, actually. I was considering b3 to give this bishop a lot more possible scope. And I was really considering c4, controlling all center squares. But I did not like it weakening the d4 pawn that way. It's possible that this can be defended, but I ultimately just didn't like c4. I've been very careful about moving my pawns too much. So I played c3 after a very long think. Actually, I can see how long I thought. Okay, when I say very long, 4 minutes. But 4 minutes in this type of position is actually pretty long. 4 minutes over the board is longer than it seems. Okay. So this was interesting. Here, I would have liked to have my queen here and my bishop here, because then it creates a lot of threats in the future, obviously on h7. But in order to do that, it requires a lot of re-maneuvering, or just maneuvering. It could take three full moves to do that, and there's still no direct threat. So I played queen c2, which computer is not... No, it says it's okay. It's also saying queen e2, which I briefly considered, but I didn't really want it to be, because he's going to castle and put the rook here. I didn't want to have to deal with that. So the queen is quite safe on c2, and we're on a nice diagonal. I like queen c2. And he castled. But I'm telling you, it's a very classical game, right? And then I thought for a long time here, I can tell you exactly how long now that I've recorded my time. I thought for 5 minutes, but again, 5 minutes is actually a long time over the board. That's a pretty long think. It's a long think in a position that doesn't require a long think. But I forget, why did I think so long here? I think I might have been considering like rook e1 and some early things like this. And I was also considering like bishop f4, which, by the way, both moves computer says are perfectly good. I ended up playing bishop d2, which computer's fine with too. Basically, every move here computer is happy with. So, okay. He played queen c7. And I played rook fe1. Computer likes it. Everything, both sides have been playing well. He played h6, which I thought was unnecessary. Computer agrees, not a great move. If anything, it gives white something to bite on. Yeah, it's something that I started this tournament writing down the moves, the move times. It's kind of hard to see. Next to each one, I have the minutes remaining. Yeah, this is the first tournament I did that, and it slows me down a little bit because sometimes I have to remember when the time is over an hour. I gotta think, is that 84 or 74? It takes me like an extra few seconds, but I think it's useful for analyzing your games afterwards to see how much time you're burning. If you're burning time needlessly on moves that don't really matter, or if you're spending too long in the opening and so on. But also I found during the game, it's kind of useful as well. You can kind of look over your past 5 moves and see if you're thinking too long. I actually have found it very useful. It also gives you something to do when you're bored. When you're bored during the game, I can see like how long my opponent has been thinking lately, and you can also plan a strategy, a time strategy during the game. I've actually quite enjoyed writing down my moves. It's definitely something I'm going to do from now on. Case Money, are you allowed to do that in the US? So h6 was played, and I thought for 6 minutes on this next move, which is pretty long, and I played h3. Computer strongly likes c4. Not 100% sure why. Maybe to prevent b5. I'm not quite sure why. Oh, that would be nice, Case Money. Okay, 13. And I played h3. So computer loves c4 there for some reason. And he played rook fd8, which was good. And I thought for a long time, and when I say a long time, 8 minutes. That's a long time on move. I can tell you how much time I had left here. So I had, after this move, I had 1 hour left, which is probably a perfect amount of time to have in this position. Yeah, I thought for a really long time because I thought, oh, white is so close to having something here. And there's hardly any pieces around black's king. And I'm so close to getting a rook lift and so on. But I couldn't figure out a way. It's kind of funny because when I look at this in 2D, I see that there's definitely nothing that can happen here. Like there's no tactic or anything. But in 3D, I was really thinking that there might be something. I ended up playing a move that the computer does not list in the top 5. It's suggesting c4, a3, rook a d1, bishop f1. Oh, that's a weird one. And g3. I think also I was considering moves like g4. But the problem is, in order to justify g4, you basically need to put the rook on g1. And I thought I already moved rook e1, so it doesn't really make sense for me to move it back. So anyways, I resigned. No, I played rook e2. Computer says that this is a blunder. I am surprised about that. Or is blunder? No, not a blunder. Not a blunder, but about a 50 cent upon mistake. So not a blunder, but it's saying c5 is good for black here. And I knew c5 was coming. And oh yeah, I see it now. Yeah, you know, I saw c5 like earlier, like when I played h3, I thought c5 might be coming. But actually when I play rook e2, it makes it worse because this bishop can't retreat. So he did play c5, which is the best move. And I got a bit upset at myself here because I'm like, oh my God, c5 is pretty good. And I thought for a long time here, 5 minutes. Now that's a long time considering I just spent 8 minutes on rook e2. I spent 8 minutes on rook e2, and then I spent another 5 minutes on the next move. Like I'm down to 55 minutes by move 16. That, like, my time is going fast. Because like five moves ago, I had like an hour and 20 minutes. Okay, and now I'm down to, after this move, 55 minutes. Yeah, I thought for a very long time here, and for some reason I didn't see this move until the very end. Although the computer, oddly enough, says that there's every move here is fine. I was happy to finally see b3, which is what I played. And it's actually not even a good move. So I'm actually very surprised about that. It's saying you could just play anything. Just play rook e1. Oh, I remember now. Yeah, oh, partly why I looked. So let me pause the recording. So I was looking at, you know, if it goes here, I was thinking I could go here, possibly even here. And that is what the computer is saying. I think Alessandro is going to point this out to me. I looked at this, but what scared me was... something scared me here, I remember. Oh, I think I was scared of this, which is the best move. Oh, no, wait, it's saying rook. Yeah, rook e8. So this scared me, because then I thought, what am I going to play next? If I go here, I'm just getting double pawns. Computer just says... oh my God, this doesn't even stop it. Ah. Doesn't even stop it. We could just play any move here. It says queen c1. I don't see what the long-term plan is. But if he takes, we can still take here. I don't know why I missed that. Oh, that's too bad. Yeah, so probably I didn't look deep enough. That is like 5 moves. But yeah, that would have been a way, because I saw this and it was a very interesting move. But if he I thought he could go here. Okay, but the other thing is we don't have to go here. We could. It's saying we could also go. Wait, what? What is this? Oh, sorry. Yeah, here. It's saying that we could also go. No. Wait, was it here? No, that's why rook a1. Yeah, sorry. Here. And then if he pushes. Yeah, sorry. Here. It's saying that we could go bishop e4. And just give the bishop up. And that square, and we'd be okay here. I thought we were giving... Okay, I guess we could have just been patient like that. I thought black was gaining a lot of ground here, though. That's what I felt. Computer says it's fine, though. And it says that we also could have... No, those are the only two moves. Bishop e4 and here. Every other move loses. So I'm a little surprised that this is okay. So maybe I was more scared than I needed to be. So I played b3, which is actually worse. I'm surprised about that. Okay. He did c takes. And knight takes. And a6. Which I was happy to see because it showed to me that he doesn't have a plan here. And he's kind of just reacting. He doesn't have a plan. So I was kind of happy to see a6. It also gives me time to clean things up a little bit. Played rook e1. And all of these moves I made fairly quickly. He played b5. I wrote it as b4 though, but b5. No, wait. No, sorry. He didn't play that. Let me erase that. Okay, e1. Then he played. By the way, I've been pretty good with my often I make mistakes, but I didn't make a single mistake this tournament in my note taking. So, anyways, rook e1. Oh man, next game I got lots of interesting stories. Okay, so 18 rook e1, and then he went knight c5, which is a good move. And I actually, I didn't account for this when I played rook e1. So again, I was kind of angry at myself. I shouldn't have missed that. And I felt a lot better today than yesterday. So that was just kind of sloppiness on my part for not seeing knight c5. Oh, wait, maybe it was here. No, it wasn't here. Never mind. Knight c5. I played b4. No, I think it was this position. When I said before, I was wondering where to put the bishop. I mistook it with this position, I think. Because if bishop f5 here, I thought now he can go here because the queen is defending it as well. Yeah, so it was here. And then I thought, what am I going to do? Yeah, and we're going to get the double pawns. So... yeah, it was this move that I spent. It was totally this move. It was totally this move where I was considering here and even here. And computer actually says those are the two best moves. Yeah, it was this move that I spent so long on. Yeah. It's also possible I just do nothing here and just let him take it, but he's going to get the bishop for the knight, and my queen is going to be dangerous on this file. So I did spend a long time on this move, and I spent 11 minutes. Come on, guys. That's a long time. After this move, I was down to 43 minutes. So I spent half my time by move 19, which isn't terrible, but yeah. Anyway, so I played b4. Knight takes d3. And queen takes. And queen b6, which is a blunder because it lets my queen off the hook. But I don't know if you can call it a blunder. Because it's saying that b5 is good, but I don't really know why. Or rook c8. Okay, anyways, he went here. So I thought for a very long time here as well. I burned a lot of time. No, not this move. Soon. Oh, I played, no, yeah, not this move. I played a3, which is apparently a mistake. Yeah, I spent 3 minutes on this move. It's just saying queen g3. No, yeah, because I mean I looked at this. Oh, I'm not recording these moves. I gotta go way back and move 16. Sorry. That's what happens sometimes. So b3, c takes, knight takes d4, a6. I got to do this again? Oh, no, I don't. a6. Okay, e1. Knight c5, b4. Knight takes d3, queen takes d3, queen b6. Okay. Yeah. I played a3 here. So yeah, computer is suggesting queen g6, but I thought knight h5. So let me turn off record. So if we go here, I thought here, and then it says queen f3. So what? What if he goes back here? I don't get it. Then here, 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 here. Yeah, I don't know. It gets really complex. And that's a lot of moves. So I don't mind. Yeah, I don't care about that. But yeah, it doesn't like a3 at all though. Okay. I don't know. It's kind of a complex position. You played rook d7, which computer doesn't like. It wants to go to rook a c8. Okay, so rook d7. Oh, and then I thought for a long time here, 5 minutes on this move. I could not decide between queen here or queen here. Where would you guys like to go? And apparently, no, yeah, okay. Yeah, apparently I went to the worst, I made the worst move of the two. I was also briefly considering f4. F4 is kind of nice, but I didn't like that it blocks our bishop. Okay, now the more I see it, yeah, okay. Because I was really thinking here because we're so close to getting a tactic here. G3. Computer hates G3. Oh, sorry, you mean queen. Queen G3. The problem with queen G3 is bishop here. Then what are you going to do? Draconic Phase. Try to stay awake for my last game. That's the most interesting one. Only interesting because of what he does. The game is not interesting at all. So that was my concern with queen G3 is bishop D6. Okay, so queen h4 and then queen d8. So he, computer says your moves are okay, and they were it's about the same evaluation as what I played, which is the other move. I went queen f3. I thought it was a little bit safer and gives my opponent a chance to mess up. He played rook at d8. And I thought for a long ass time, guys, 7 more minutes. Okay, consider this, okay? This is move 23. Only move 23, not even on the first row of the score sheet. Still on the first row of the score sheet. Or first column, not first row. First column of the score sheet. And I spent 7 minutes on this move. I am down to 28 minutes. That's actually time trouble. I've got 28 minutes to play the rest of the game. I played bishop e3, which was fine. Computer does prefer it on f4, but it's the computer. So bishop e3. He played queen c7, which was good. And guys, I have no time on the clock. I only had 28 minutes, and on the next move, I spend 6 more minutes. I spent 6 more minutes on the next move. I'm now down to 22 minutes on move 24. So I'm down to 22 minutes. This is getting serious. Anyways, I played apparently a shitty move. Oh, it's only shitty because I wrote it down wrong. Yeah, never mind. I played the best move by far, which is bishop f4. And he played bishop d6, which caught him into my trap. Which, boom. And here's the beautiful part of this. My opponent was a little kid. So, little kids usually, not always, but usually, more often than not, will get up a lot. They will get up a lot, especially the younger they are. They'll get up a lot from the table and walk around, right? They get impatient. And my opponent was gone when I made my move. He was not at the board. And so I made my move. And I got up, and I don't get up very often, but I got up and walked around, and I was eyeing the board, and I saw him. He didn't see me. I was watching the board from far away, and he went and then sat down, and then I wanted to see his reaction to the bishop suddenly being there, because that's a scary ass thing. If you get up from the board and you come back and you see like something that you weren't expecting. That's not a good feeling. But he didn't really have much of an expression, unfortunately. Okay. Anyways, I was feeling pretty good about this. But the game continued interestingly. So he spent 3 minutes on this move. Well, he kind of has to take. And queen takes. And I guess he didn't make. There was a good move here. Apparently the computer says queen takes c3 is actually equal for black, which I find interesting. I guess it's just one of those positions where, but we could still go here though. Is that not a problem? Oh my God. It just happened. because he could actually take here. But if I got the rook there, let me just see. Because there is a discovery on the queen if we recapture. So for example, if he goes here, and let's say we go here, he can actually just take here, and then he's got this. But I'm wondering, what if we go rook here, and then king shove? So it's actually the same thing. Okay, so let me go back. It works out to be the same thing, pretty much. So he went king h7, which I thought was annoying, because I didn't consider king h7 here, and it's pretty hard to get at his king. I thought for a long time. So I thought for 5 more minutes after this move, I was down to 16 minutes. Okay, so I had 2 plans here. I was looking at knight takes. My plan being rook takes, and then how is he going to stop this mate? Well, not mate, but this check. But then the way he stops it is bishop f8, and so for example, if takes, rook takes, bishop f8, and what am I going to do? I do have a check, and he has to go in the corner, but there's no follow-up. There's no follow-up. So I was looking at this for a long time. And then my other idea was to bring the rook up, and then how is he going to defend against this? But he still can just play bishop f8. And surprisingly, black is safe here. And then I think I miscalculated, because then I looked at this again, and I thought if I go rook e4 and it goes bishop f8, I thought I could then go rook g4 and we're threatening mate. But no, his bishop is there. And I think I miscalculated that. So the funny thing is, I had trouble figuring out a way to finish black off here. I looked at knight f3, but I didn't really see what we're going to do. If we come in here, it's too slow. I didn't know what to do here. Computer is suggesting rook e3, which I'm not understanding. So it's just saying knight f3. In both cases, it wants to bring the king to h1. So I actually think it wants to push the g file at some point, the g pawn at some point. So it's saying queen f3. So anyways, I played rook e4. This is a mistake or a blunder, apparently, because of queen takes. I thought if he goes queen takes, we could go here, and then if bishop here, wait, why wasn't I concerned with this? I forget. Oh, it might have been, I think it might have been, so if he took here, I think I might have been looking at this, and then if bishop here, I think I was actually, I can't remember. But yeah, it does look like just a mistake. I can't remember what I was seeing. Because nothing works there. So that's funny. White looks completely winning, but it's only a little bit winning. Okay, anyways, I went rook e4 though. Now the funny thing is he didn't take this pawn. Maybe he was too concerned about this, which was kind of my gambit. he went rook g8, which is second best move. And I again thought for a very long time, I thought there's got to be something here. This rook is now seems a little bit misplaced because it's kind of by itself. I thought, oh, we got to be able to do something. It looks like there's got to be something here. And I spent another 8 minutes on this move. After this move, I was down to 8 minutes. I had 8 minutes left after this move. We are in serious, well, maybe not serious, but we are in definite time trouble. And I ended up making the best move, but it's a hard move to make. So Case Money, what would you play here, or anybody? What's your move? What do you play here? How do you finish off black? C4 is a mistake or blunder. Yeah, it's rook g6. Yeah, c4 is a blunder. Rook g6. I mean that this is what black wants to play. By the way, you got to be careful about back rank mates. There's some issues here. You got to be careful. Anyways, I played the best move, which I'm happy about. Actually, now it's tied for best move, but I actually moved the queen f3, and then I had 8 minutes left to finish the game here. So I realized that I just could not see any way, even though black's position looks incredibly fragile, I could not see a way to mate him or win material or anything. So I decided, okay, I have to, I got to move back, and I'm protecting the pawn now, and maybe we'll get something else going somewhere else. I was also thinking of maybe getting the queen here or something like this. Or actually, I was looking at this too. Discovered attack on the discovered check. Yeah, I think I was eyeing this. So yeah. So he played rook g6, which is the best move, and I played what looks to be a terrible move. Oh, but I did. Oh no, never mind. Computer says it was a good move. Yeah, I moved rook. Oh wait, sorry, other move. Oh boy, gotta delete this. I did rook 1 e3. So no, this made sense because I want to protect this pawn while being able to still move my queen, but I had to be careful with back rank mates still. I think I had another idea in mind too, but I can't remember what it was. Anyways, he played b5. Kind of well, computer says it was okay. And I had 7 minutes left. There's a 30-second increment, thank God. I didn't have a lot of time left. So this was a move inspired by having no time left. I played rook g4. Computer does not like it. It wants g3, which I toyed with, but I thought after takes... No, sorry, no, it wasn't here. But yeah, computer liked g3, which makes sense. Oh, I know. Yeah, g3. It's also saying knight b3, which I would not have considered. But yeah, g3 would have been nice here. It's also recommending h4, which I considered kicking that rook off, but I was a little bit concerned about this pawn being sniped off, and I didn't have time to really consider things. So, I played rook g4. And he took. And I took with the queen. And he played the best move, bishop f4, which I didn't consider, and it was annoying to deal with. I still had 7 minutes at this point. And I played rook f3, which computer absolutely hates. This is a major blunder, apparently. Wow. Ah, yeah, there's a back rank mate. It's saying, oh my god. He missed this. So did I. Maybe he was trying to pressure me. Oh my god. Yeah, he could have taken on d4. Oh, that would have sucked. I might have seen something like this a move later. Wow, that would have sucked. That would have been a terrible way to lose. Wow. Time pressure, man. I don't recommend it. You know, if I had more time here, I'm going to see this. You know, I'm not missing that. But I was literally spending about like 20 to 30 seconds per move of thinking time. And that's not enough time. So, oh my god, when he reviews a game, he's not going to be happy about this. Wow. That's interesting. Okay, so he played bishop d2, which is not only bad, well, hang on. So now it's my turn to make a mistake. Because rook g3 wins the game. Somehow. Oh my god, that's... Yeah, because rook g3, he can't move the pawn because it's going to be mate in 2. He would have to play bishop g5, so let's just show it. He would have to play bishop g5 and then h4. Oh my god, that would have been beautiful. Damn, don't get in time pressure. This is what happens. Okay, so me missing this win like this makes up for him missing his win. So, okay, so that an eye for an eye there. So we both blundered terribly here. He had more time than me, though. But not a whole lot. After bishop d2, he had 17 minutes. I had 7. So he certainly had time to think things through. Okay. Anyways. Yeah, I missed rook g3. I made the third best move, which is queen e4 check. He played the best move, king h8, and I played... Oh yeah, I made a weird move here. But after this move, I had 3 minutes left. So I was considering, you know, check here and grabbing a pawn, but I got really scared because I was basically scared of this. Which is apparently winning for white. White can actually take here. But I'm not seeing this with like a couple minutes on the clock. I'm not seeing this type of stuff. And it's yeah, that's too tactical. And I still just got to be careful of, well, he can't move that actually. He would have to, yeah, that's interesting. But I didn't see that. But that's what I was scared of. I was scared of yeah, I was scared of this. I didn't see this rook move. And if I took here, white is still good, but it's you know, then you can take here, you know. Computer says white is still good here, but that is too risky. I just didn't have enough time on the clock. Okay, let me get, where was I? King H8. Here. Okay, so after King H8. So I thought I'm up a pawn. Let's get the queens off the board. I went Queen C6. And at this point, my opponent he turns into some type of autistic savant. Hey, did we lose Draconic Fate? Not yet. So my opponent thinks for a while here. How long does he think? 5 minutes, which is long. So he goes from 16 minutes to 11 minutes here. And I see him kind of doing this, like, making like little sounds, like, and then, okay, so there was that. He did that, and I'll show you why. So then he went bishop f4. And just keep in mind, I have 3 minutes on the clock. And 3 minutes on over the board is scary because you got to write down your moves and your opponent's moves. Yeah, so we went bishop 4. And then, so I thought, like, already I'm pretty happy with my position, other than the possible back rank mate threats, because I'm up a pawn, and my pieces are better than his. Well, 2 of mine are better. And then I saw a winning tactic here, which is rook takes f4. And I was pretty pleased with myself because I was already in a good position, and now I'm going to be completely ahead. So queen takes f4. This is how the game went. Queen takes, and we are up a full knight. Unfortunately, black gives us a check. And oh my god, is this a perpetual? Can't I block with the pawn later and be okay? King h2, queen f4. We can't push with the pawn because it's going to still be a perpet. Okay, let's just try this. And gives us a check. And then he offers me a draw. And I give a congratulatory sigh and smile and accept the draw because it's a perpet. So it was a draw. Now, it was disappointing because I was disappointed because I was winning on the board. However, I was in pretty severe time trouble. And as I look at it now, it was actually pretty wild in the last 15 moves. There were a lot of missed blunders and so forth. And I think I was the first one to make the blunder. Or the biggest blunder. So I'm satisfied with the draw. It's unfortunate because he's lower rated than me. But I know he's underrated. I know that in a year from now, he'll probably be like 1,700. In like 3 years, he's going to be like 2,000. I'm predicting it right now. He'll be at least 2,000 in 3 years from now. When he's like 10. So you can see the computer graph overall. It turned black when kind of this C5 era. And then I was winning at the end, but I blundered here when he could have just taken the knight. Wait, was it here? Because, I mean, if I take the knight... Wait, what was wrong with this? Oh, he just takes the rook, right? Yeah, so... Okay. So if anyone is still watching... Oh, you missed the best part. It's okay. You can watch it on YouTube tomorrow. Good night. Get better. So after this game... So I won the first game. And then I drew the second game. And I drew the third game. Which that one was a... Well... And then I drew the fourth game. So I have a win, a draw, and a draw. And then I played my last game. So here is my last game. You know, I'm getting pretty tired too. I wonder if I should save this last game for tomorrow. No, I'll do it now so that this is all in a video. Well, I don't know if I want it to keep it a video. Because then other people can, future people can look this up and see what I play. Do I care? Ah, what the hell? I'll put it in this video. Okay, new chapter. Gotta find its rating. Oh, right there. So I got a third black. Anyone still there? You guys are quiet. Okay, so I got a third black. I don't want to like talk shit about people, but this player is an older player. About I can't guess ages. I don't know. 60, 65 years old, 63 years old. Yeah, 65. Yeah, around there. I'd say between 60, 65. And I think this is like his third tournament. I've seen him around in the first like tournament. He really annoyed me because he was talking a lot during the games and very distracting. I never played him before, but he was in my section and I could hear him from many boards away, like just talking and asking questions like, how do you do this? What is this for? Blah, blah, blah during the game. I mean, I know that he's new to tournament chess, but very distracting. But he was friendly to me before the game started. He asked me questions like, what is my favorite opening? What is my favorite opening as white? But he was white, so I said e4. And then he asked me like what my rating was. I told him 1399, and he's like, whoa, oh no. He was actually genuinely scared of how high it was. That's because he's rated 1044. But I told him like rating in our section doesn't really mean anything. And then he asked me like who my favorite player was, and I said no. He said like who's the he said like who's the best player, who's the best chess player or something. And then I said, well, that depends on your definition, right? Because is it by longevity, by peak rating or peak strength, blah blah blah. And then he answered his own question, and he said, I think the strongest player at their best was Bobby Fischer. And then he said, I also like Alekhine and Paul Morphy and Casablanca. Of course, Casablanca. And yeah, he said he used to play in the 70s, and then the game started. So he was friendly though. I just got annoyed before because he's very okay. During the game, he's very okay. Well, during this game, keep in mind that he asked to see my score sheet, like many times, like 5 or 6 times. Oh yeah. Also, he told me before the game started that he hates algebraic notation, and he doesn't understand why they switched from pawn to king 4, and why did they switch from pawn to king 4? The new notation is so difficult. Anyways, I should mention that when I played this game, I played this game really, really strangely, and the game itself was not very interesting. I was, even though like I was basically a bit tilted because I lost more rating in this tournament, which is pretty unbelievable because we're talking about there's almost a 700 point spread now between online and offline. Now, of course, online you're going to be way higher rated, but we're talking a 700 point spread. Like I am on my way to being actually 1300 over the board. It's pretty crazy when I'm 2030 online. Like my rating is going up and up online, but okay, anyways, I whine about this all the time, but my point here is that I was a little bit salty going into this game because even if I win, I'm not going to like place third or anything, and it's expensive going to these tournaments, and my rating only goes down. And like so far, I didn't even lose a single game, but my rating still goes down. So I was a little bit upset in this game, and I also got a third black. So I kind of decided, I don't know if I decided before the game started, but maybe not before the game started, but I kind of decided, I think I'm going to, okay, basically I decided that I'm going to try playing faster this game, and maybe a lot faster, maybe really fast, because keep in mind that in the previous game, I drew, and actually not even, was it 2 games? Basically 2 of my draws were, I was winning, but I was in time trouble. And it's not fun being in time trouble over the board. Way more so, or way less so than online. Like when you're in time trouble over the board, it is extremely stressful. My starting rating was 1399 in this tournament. Okay, so because I was a little bit tilted, also someone else was driving me home, so I didn't really want to make him wait forever, so I thought I might play this game quicker. Also, my opponent was rated lower, and because of all these factors, I decided to try playing quicker. Anyways, here's how the game went. When I played c5, my opponent let out an audible sigh. You can tell that he's not very accustomed to playing the Sicilian or doesn't enjoy it, which is always something you like to hear as a player. And knight c3, totally old school, totally fits into his age bracket. I almost never see this. I shouldn't say almost never, but I don't see this very often online. So I had to kind of rack my brain on what to play, which was correct. And he played bishop e2, which basically black has gained full equality already. We didn't get to go down, you know, theory or anything, but I've gained equality, so what more could you ask for? Decided for knight at c6, which the computer is happy with. He castled. The game isn't super interesting, but just keep in mind I played really quick, okay? But he was playing quick so far too, so we both have our original starting time on the clocks here. because of the increment. Computer doesn't like bishop d2. It's a little slow. Yeah. Well, I kind of knew that my opponent wasn't super strong because just judging by his past results, and he's an older player. If I play an adult, my chances are pretty good. If I play a kid, my chances are 50-50. Okay, but we're still at original starting time on the clock. Computer likes a6. At this point, we've spent about 5 minutes each. Well, me less so. I spent about 2 minutes here for all the moves. I made the best move again. B3 was weird. Bishop B7. A4. B4. Knight D1. D5. Computer actually likes H6 here. So I didn't push A5, which I'm pretty happy about because that's kind of shows a bit of maturity. Yeah, because it's not necessary here, and it's about a 40 cent a pawn difference. I just checked, and I'm happy that because that's like a year ago I would have totally just played here, right? Lock it in, but there's more important matters to tend to, and we can always go here later, and it also gives us a reserve tempi if we ever need it in the end game. Furthermore, if white decides to push after we make a different move, this actually becomes a weakness for white more than it does for us because we can target this in different ways, and it's hard for white to defend that pawn. So I'm really happy I didn't push this move. I think that shows maturity on my part, or progression. And then around this time or so, my opponent makes his move, and you know, as I told you, he's kind of annoying because he kind of just does distractions a little bit, not on purpose, and he boom hits the clock. The problem was, it was the clock to the board next to us, not our clock. He hit the two players next to us, their clock, which is a big mess up especially because we have increment. So then he quickly goes, oh no. And then he clicks the other person's timer to make up for the fact that he hit the other person. So now he basically gave them an extra minute because 30-second increment. Now, it's not a huge deal. On occasion, this will happen. But the fact that this guy did it is of no surprise. He's lucky that we're not playing a more complicated time control where the move matters, because you know, if you have to get to like move 40 or something and then the time control changes, that would completely mess things up, and an arbiter would need to be called, and he would really screw the other team or the other two players. So it's actually. And he's lucky that it happened kind of earlier in the game. If this happened later in the game, that would have really messed things up because he's giving them an extra minute. Why wasn't Arbiter involved? Because for little things like this, it's more hassle to call the Arbiter than just let it go. You know what I mean? If that side only had if one side only had 3 minutes left and he did that, then you might call an Arbiter. But in this case, you just let it slide. But wait, there's actually a much more interesting thing that happens later. Another shot, another thing that's a first for me. Okay, anyway, sorry. E takes d5. Oh, I should also mention this entire game, not only was I moving quickly, I was paying almost no attention to the game. I was looking around the whole time. I was just looking at other games. My mind was not on the game. I wasn't even thinking about the game. I don't even remember the game. I was just looking. I basically sat there for 3 hours just looking around, daydreaming. I was just, I don't know. It wasn't a good tournament. And I was not looking at the game. Okay, so keep that in mind. So move 14. He played bishop f4. Really, I did that one. Okay. Oh, what? Oh. Wait, what did it say here? Oh, it doesn't like my 95 move. It really likes bishop c8. Which is, yeah, that's not an easy move to play. No, I don't. My move was okay. And he thought for the next 4 moves, he burned a shitload of time. He burned a lot of time. So on this next move, he spent 8 minutes, which is knight f5. I think he was really trying to find a way to attack me and destroy me. That's why he spent so much time. I went queen d7, the best move. And then he spent another 6 minutes on... Oh, shit. I don't know what knight he did it. I'm going to guess this one. And I went here, the best move. And then he spent another 11 minutes on this move. And then he started playing quicker. He went knight g3. I went d4. He went queen f4, which he spent another 5 minutes to get this move. So he burned a lot of time on these last 5 moves. To give you a reference, after this move, he's at 43 minutes. And I'm at 1 hour and 13 minutes. So, but queen f4 gave me some concern. But just a little bit. I don't like his active queen. But then I realized it wasn't actually a threat. I went e7. And bishop f3. Bishop takes. Queen takes, rook a, e8. And my opponent is currently down to 39 minutes, and I have 1 hour and 11 minutes. He went 94. So in this position, computer actually is giving white a small edge, which I'm a little bit surprised about. I thought black had an edge here. That being said, I have a major time advantage, so I'm doing better. Even if on the board, white is slightly better according to Stockfish. Because I know my opponent is a slower thinker. Okay, so he went knight 94, which is a blunder. So I took a little bit of time here. I spent 4 minutes and took... And then I played... After the game, Jason, who was my ride home, and another player in the tournament, was watching... pulled me aside and said I played queen b7, which was a good move, but he said since my opponent is low rated, he liked a better move, which gave me a chance to mate him. I can't remember what it was. Was it what was he saying? I don't think it was f5. Was it push here? Or maybe it was this queen f5 move, which computer is saying. Queen f5. Yeah, this might be what he was talking about. He thinks, he might have been meaning this move, that he thinks there was a good chance that he would blunder here. Because he thinks he wouldn't be able to resist. Yeah, and he is a strong player, the guy that recommended this to me. He's about 19. He's about 1900, 1950 over the board. Because, I mean, I'm sure he would see that this is mate. But maybe he would take with the queen, and then I'd still be up a pawn because he still can't take. I mean, he could play like f3 or something, but yeah, this is kind of nice. I agree. I did not consider that, but I was still in my line of thinking of moving quickly. But good to see what he was talking about. Okay, so where am I here? Move 27. Queen b7, and my opponent. My opponent thinks for 6 minutes. So after his next move, he's down to 33 minutes. After queen b7, he is... he's not happy. Queen b7, where am I? What move? Move 27. Okay. So he played king f1, which I actually thought was a pretty good move. Taking, just trying to make the best of a situation for the endgame. Computer doesn't like it though. Computer just wants him to go to rook e2. I do and I don't eat chips. It can be distracting sometimes. It's good if you're winning. Yeah, it's good if you're winning. That's the only time. If you're not winning, then it's annoying. Okay, where am I? Right. So I took here. This was kind of funny because he picked up his rook. So he took here, right? And he picked up his rook, and then he was about to take my rook, and then he moved it back, and then he's like, as if he can change his mind, like he's allowed to change his mind. And then he's like, oh well. But it's like, I think he was contemplating taking it with the queen, but it's like, that's not going to work. So anyways, rook takes. I thought for a little bit here, just a little bit, 2 minutes. I was really thinking, and it looks like I made the right choice, but I was considering taking with the rook. Because I thought maybe I could then play queen to e7 and do stuff, but I just gave it a consideration, that's all. But I took it with the queen. He went rook e1. And then I went, was it? Okay, f4. Sorry, f5. And he's moving quickly here. He's got 31 minutes. So he's been moving quickly the last like 8 moves. Hang on, f5, and then he went rook e2. King f7. On my clock, I still have an hour and 8 minutes here. King e1. Oh, my throat is not feeling good. I might actually be getting sick. Been feeling kind of weird lately. Yeah, it's not good. Has anyone ever heard of chilblains? Because I've got that now, and I never had that before. And it kind of sucks. And I'm hoping it can go away, because it's pretty annoying. Okay, sorry. Where was it here? King e1. King e6. Oh, computer hates this. Computer hates this. It wants to take the rook. I thought nothing mattered. I thought everything was just easily winning. This is still winning, but it's saying king d1. I don't really. I'm sure there's some subtle difference. Huh, weird. Weird. Okay. Well, anyways, I went king e6. Okay, and then he played f4. Okay, so he played it. And then I wrote down his move. And then I played king d5. And then right after I moved, he goes, he looks up at me and he says, "What are you doing?" He said, "What are you doing?" And I said, "Huh?" And then he said, "I didn't move yet." And I'm like, "What?" I didn't say that, but I'm like, "What?" So okay, so he went here. Okay, he played f4, and then I wrote it down, and then I go here, and then he goes, and actually he gave me kind of a smirk. He's like, "What are you doing?" I didn't move yet. And I said, huh? I did I say anything? I'm not sure if I said anything, but I just went like, I gave him a look like I went like you just went there, and then he's like, "Oh yeah." No, but this just happened. Like he just made the move, and then like 3 seconds later, I moved the king. It's like, wow, I've never come across that before. And he was 100% serious. He goes, I go there, and I go here, and he goes, what are you doing? I didn't move yet. I didn't move. Oh man, that was. Can you imagine losing to him? Like, okay. Okay, king d2. Wait, king d5. Oh, there was one more thing. When he was before the game, when he was asking me about like who's your favorite player, and he was naming he named like 10 of the players he could remember. He said, who's the world champion now? And I said, Magnus Carlsen. He said, who? I said, Magnus Carlsen. He said, oh, I think I've heard of him. And then he asked me if I hope to become a grandmaster, and he's serious. I said, no, I'm way too old now. And he goes, how old are you? I told him my age, and he said, yeah, you could still do it. And he thought, yeah, never mind. He's a nice guy, but he's not up to date with chess. Okay, it's 34, King D5, King D2. Watch what happens when I lose this game. So King D2. Yeah, I think I thought on this move. Oh, just a little bit. I thought for a little bit on this move. I was a little bit concerned if I took of maybe running into Zugzwang. So I was actually considering pushing here first. But I took. And, oh yeah, also about 4 moves ago or so, my opponent, he said, I'm not going to write anymore. It's too hard. Can I just copy your score sheet at the end? And I said, okay. I mean, I was winning, so I didn't really care. But if I started to lose, and if I started to lose, then I would actually force him to write down all the moves so that he would lose on the clock, because he would be forced to do that. But I mean, I was winning, so I didn't want to force him to write down the moves. But he refused to write them down, which is against the rules. You have to write down the moves. But he said he messed up and he didn't want to fix it, so I didn't care. Okay, where are we? Move 36. Yeah, so I went C4. He went G3, just completely ignoring me. C takes B3. C takes B3. King E4, the only move that wins. King D2. D3, which is not the best move. King D1. Tournament supplies everything. Everything. The boards, the pieces, water, Kleenex, like little packets of Kleenex, earplugs, pens. The tournaments here are quite nice. Okay, King D1. King D1, King E3. Wait, where am I? King E3. Sorry, move 40. King E1. D2. Yep, he didn't resign. King D1. King D3. A5. King C3. And you know, I was about a move or two ago, I was almost considering just not moving and letting, because I had over an hour on my clock and he wasn't resigning. I was almost considering, well, I was considering, but not realistically. But I was thinking about just letting my time run and just like sitting there. I could do that if I was a real jerk, but I mean, he's kind of being a jerk, playing stalemate. I mean, give me some credit. You really think I'm going to stalemate you? But I didn't take it personally, because I figured he just didn't. He thought like there's still a chance for him to draw or something. You know what I mean? But I mean, it's the last game of the day. I got a 2-hour drive home. Just resign. But okay, anyways. King c3. h3 I did. King takes b3. King, whoops. How come it's not moving? King c3. Oh, sorry. h3. King takes b3. King takes d2. And then king a2. And he thought for a while. And then finally he resigned. So he resigned here, but I mean, no, but before I actually chalked it up to him just not, for him to actually legitimately think that he still had a chance of drawing. But so I ended up winning the last game and the first game. And then the 3 games in the middle were all draws. So I actually I'm undefeated in the tournament, but I also ended up with only a score of 3.5 out of 5. So I think I finished 10th out of 46 or something. I could check. Let's see. No, I finished 8th. So I finished 8 out of 49. Hey, that's not so bad considering how underrated players are.